not talking about Alexandria
Alexandria
Cortez or
Cortez,
whatever, Ocasio-Cortez. That's your girl, huh, Shaheed?
Oh, she's something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We're doing the dang thing here at Higher Thought. We're still setting things up as the show's going on, so you know how that goes.
Right, we got to get right with the world.
No doubt, no doubt. So we tend to run on that CPT around here.
Yeah.
That Caucasian people time.
Oh,
You know
God.
what I'm talking about, Shaheed? You mind getting that door, my brother? Yes, sir. All right. So, anyways, we've got not that much to talk about, but,
we got a lot of stuff to talk about. It's just that it's not a whole lot of them.
Well, there was a lot that happened in the news this past week.
Oh,
I don't know. You actually partook in this, so we could talk about it. How about Super Bowl Lie? Or LII 753?
My God.
What a boring game.
You know what?
You don't watch much football, but you watched this game, didn't you?
I watch one football game a year, and it's usually this one.
And it was kind of a letdown.
The one. And it was nice when the game sucked because it was all the camaraderie and shenanigans. And then all of a sudden, right at the very end, the game became interesting. And everybody got interesting.
Right.
Okay, and then everybody got all serious, and it was like, fuck, dude, it sucks.
Well, most of the Super Bowls that I watch here in recent years, like, you can start midway through the third quarter in the game and be okay. You don't miss anything in the first 2.5 quarters.
You don't?
Nothing.
Okay.
The
halftime show, Jeebus Krispies,
that was the
fudge, man. I can peel my clothes off and sort of sing like a girl.
Oh, and that's essentially what it was. A lot of people are saying it was the gayest halftime show they've ever really had.
And why would you put...
Not that that's a bad thing in 2019.
No, be yourself. Be proud. But why California?
His tattoo?
Yes, why California?
Well, you saw they got a meme thing now, like every guy in every state, like they're trying to get a challenge where every guy's going to write that on their stomach and take a picture of it and put it online. So you should write Louisiana.
I could write it on there, tattoo it on there.
No, tattoo. No. I don't think a lot of the
part's
people
not happening.
So the game sucked. It was 13-3. Final?
Yeah, I don't think hardly anybody won the pool.
Well,
there was one person in each corner.
And that was actually, ironically, the Saints' record.
3-3?
13-3.
Oh, 13-3.
Which was the score of the Super Bowl. And don't say that voodoo doesn't exist. Because, it almost looked as if the Rams didn't belong there.
Right.
As if, they were put there.
What was the deal with all those punts? It was 7 punts in a row, and then they made a few plays, and then they punted again?
And in New Orleans, we didn't need a Super Bowl. In a lot of Louisiana. Yeah, the Boycott Bowl went on in New Orleans.
Okay.
It was a big old party in New Orleans this past Sunday.
I did not know that. But then
they had thousands of people go out, and actually in New Orleans, the ratings went down.
The ratings? What kind of ratings?
TV ratings.
Oh, okay. Duh.
The ratings in New Orleans went down in half. They were normally at 52 for the Super Bowl last year.
Right.
And they went down to 26 in New Orleans.
Well, why would you watch something that you feel that you got screwed out of?
You belonged in that game.
Right.
And, in fact, the Super Bowl nationally, or worldwide even, was the lowest ratings in 10 years.
No. Mm-hmm. Wow.
So,
did you notice the commercials sucked?
The commercials weren't great either, and,
you got some
they had a couple.
bling-out rapper talking about his
Was this at the halftime show?
Online credit pay balance thing
It
audit.
was all pretty terrible. I enjoyed the
and
one
it's
with
like-
the old football players, like where they were chasing after the ball.
Oh, in the banquet room thing.
Yeah,
now,
and
see,
it was
I
all
remember
old.
that.
Yeah, that was probably
Yeah.
the best commercial for me. I mean, I didn't see most of the first quarter. I was doing
I don't
some
know.
work.
I didn't know who.
And honestly,
I recognized one or two of those
I was
people.
doing lesson plans during the game, you know. So,
Well, got to prioritize.
but here's some good news. We'll see if this works. New football leagues. You know, so hey, if the NFL sucks, if people are revolting against it because of their crappy
Wait,
referees,
Can we
because
go
of
back
their
to the
political
CFL
stuff,
like they had before?
they still have the Canadian Football League.
How about the XFL?
The XFL is actually coming back next year.
But
in
don't
2020.
they only do like 50 yards or some retarded thing like
No, yeah, they don't do kickoffs. I don't think. Most of the rules are the same, but actually they have a new league. I think that's starting maybe this week or maybe next week. It's called the Alliance, and it's like 8 teams. I think.
that?
Yeah.
It's called the Alliance. Okay. I'm sorry.
But basically, people are sick of the NFL and all their politics and all their cheating and rigging the games.
Yeah.
You know, and which of course Roger Goodell, who went up on stage after the Patriots won the Super Bowl, Roger Goodell was booed out of the building. Dude just screwed the Saints over for about the third time, and he just signed a 5-year, $200 million extension. Didn't even
Right.
mention the Saints penalty for 10 days.
He gets $200 million a year to be the
No,
Super-
5 years, over 5 years. So technically, what is that, $40 million a year?
$40 million a year to be the boss of the Super Bowl
Of the NFL.
Of the NFL.
And he doesn't even do his job. You know, all he
who
does
does
is
the
cheat
job?
and he cheats. And well, I mean, as far as maybe as the league commissioner, maybe even making a comment about the Saints getting screwed out of the Super Bowl, where your NFL officials admitted it.
Right. Well, wasn't
And he-
there a foul against by the Saints against their opponent that wasn't called either? It was a
It's definitely not talked about as much as the pass interference penalty.
right. No, I understand that part and the whole headbutt slam. But do you have somebody? How do they? The referees, yeah, not umpires, referees, which ones are watching what? And from what angle are they seeing what? Do we need to have instant replay for every controversial event and
Well-
make the games last 4 hours?
And it's just like any kind of disaster, like, you know, whether it be like gun violence or something like that, you know, politician's going to come with gun control.
Right.
This is exactly what's going to happen in the NFL. This is all just leading simply to they're going to have instant replay for interference calls, you know, and some of the penalties to where you can review a penalty.
Right.
And even Bill Belichick, the winning Super Bowl coach for the Patriots, when, and
I thought they were the Cheatriots.
the Cheatriots, which of course, if you could eat whatever you want on Super Bowl Sunday, you know, because hey, it's
Oh, I
Tom Brady.
did. I ate too much.
It was Tom Brady's cheat day too.
Yeah.
So-
What he said.
So that was the Super Bowl. Yeah, just kind of lame. It gets kind of a F in my grade book.
I enjoyed the
D minus at least.
I enjoyed the bonhomie much more than I did the
The what?
bonhomie.
Like barbecue?
The general feeling of goodwill and event party funness.
Well, and that's usually the appeal of a Super Bowl party.
Right. I
You
mean,
know,
it was really nice.
Surely, I enjoyed that. The game was
a suck, but the
But
party
hanging
was,
out, I mean,
yeah.
like, nobody watches the game at a lot of Super Bowl parties anyway. I mean, it's
Right.
on in the background as you're talking to your friends.
Right, right.
And that's a good Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
If your
I-
team's not in there, you know, because I quit being a fan of the NFL a long time ago. I am a Saints fan. I root for the Saints.
Right.
Once the Saints are out of it, I don't really care.
Okay, so
Give me a good game. That's what I root for.
that sounds creepy. Give me a good game.
Oh, yeah. So there was that. And then we had the State of the Union on Tuesday.
Oh my God, it made my brain boil.
Which, of course, we call it the SOTU or SOTU, which, of course, the liberals are going to refer to it now on as the STFU as long as Trump is in office. Not the SOTU.
I know, I got that part.
STFU.
I hadn't seen that in the news.
I actually.
Oh, you made that shit up. Okay. Oh, he got me. The fakest real news or the realest fake news in Acadiana. That was good. That was good.
You know, I mean, it sounds like something they say on late night.
You know what?
Right?
Next year, don't invite his ass.
Who? The president?
Yeah.
At the State of the Union address?
Don't have one.
Why?
Why
He's our
not?
president.
He can do his State
and that's something
he can do the State of the Union from his office.
Do you think there should be respect for the office? Regardless of who is in office?
To some extent, yes. If the person is a complete and total fuckwit, then no.
Which, of course, TV...
I don't watch TV.
14 here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, TVMA. My bad. Oh, I've done so good. I've done so well.
See, and it's just like, where's the evidence? If this guy is such a tyrant, why haven't they brought some evidence? You know, and what this is all hearsay that we hear on the media. Where is the evidence that this guy has committed some kind of crime, that he's some kind of tyrant that's trying to ruin the country?
Okay.
If anything, a lot of people would argue that he is trying to go back to more of the traditional American values, since we've been kind of transformed into this PC, you know, like, I mean, it is what it is. You know, there's pros and cons to everything.
Dude, people deserve basic human rights no matter what.
No doubt.
Well, then going back to traditional American values is going back to institutionalized racism.
How?
How? Oh, they had neighborhoods that were redlined, that they wouldn't make loans.
What has Trump done that has been considered racist? That's what I'm. If he's such a racist, what has he done?
Well, when he started off calling Mexicans rapists,
he's a goon. He does say some non-presidential things.
He says stupid
politically
shit,
incorrect. He does
and
say
he makes up. He says
he's
stupid
non-presidential
stuff, and he makes up facts and figures where the numbers just come straight out of his anal orifice.
I can agree with you there, and I mean he's fact-checked a lot. However, what I'm getting to is, what has he done that's been necessarily, other than what he says and tweets,
right?
Which has been different than other presidents. Let me finish my statement. Can I finish my statement, please?
Go ahead.
So, why is it that the office has not been respected? In that, you know, it's the president of the United States. You lost an election. If you don't like it, you know, it is what it is. Vote and get out and vote for the next election.
Right.
So, I mean, not everybody, like, not all the conservatives were crazy about President Obama. You know, so. But was it constant F Obama, F Obama?
Yes, it was. It was F Obama, investigate Obama, birthers, blah, blah, blah. It was endless investigations with Clinton. Not that I have anything good to say about the Clintons. You don't remember that. I do remember that. It's just, the dude is shady. And when you've got... my turn.
Yeah.
Okay, when dude is shady and he's using the power of this office to cover his shadiness, that's when somebody needs to lift the shades. He's a person, he's an untrustworthy individual.
Okay.
He prevaricates regularly, frequently, and then creates new prevarications to support his previous ones.
So can I ask you a question based on that statement? How is that different from any other president before him? Every single president has been like that.
Every other president has
But at least they acted presidential.
this has got nothing to do with acting presidential. They have a crafted message, and they make sure that stays on point. We don't just random off into weird stuff.
And this is a painful conversation for us, ladies and gentlemen, but it's something that we all have beef with each other across the nation, and we need to put this shit on the table. You know, I mean, and because if we're going to come together,
I don't want to put it on.
Well, we don't want to put the poop on the table.
Right.
You know, I mean, especially where you eat
the
from.
microphone and.
Well, there's the microphone where you eat from. You know, you're putting stuff on your mic.
I mean,
but we don't like talking about Trump. You know, but
we don't.
What brought this up for me was earlier on I had a nerve pinched, and you know how these things work. Like sometimes they bother you, sometimes they don't. Most of the times they don't bother you.
Right.
But earlier on I saw just like I think it was a Facebook post that was just your usual F Trump.
Okay.
You know, it's like okay.
Okay, but
why? You know, like
Well, was it a good image? Was it a good meme?
No, it was
Did
just
it have
like, it
nice
was no
text?
meme.
Was
No
there
meme.
a good font?
It was just like the type with the different color background. Like, okay.
Oh, okay.
You know, and they were almost doing it just to get a rise.
Right. That's no. If there's not some sort of thing, virality.
You know, and kind of where I'm at with it is, if you want to argue something, argue it in a positive way. So not necessarily what F Trump and do. These are all the bad things he's doing. What can you do on your side that is good?
Well, you can't do anything when Trump's in office. The thing to keep in mind, people, is if you kick Trump out, you're stuck with Mike Pence. Vanilla ice cream, Mr. Mashed Potatoes, no gravy, the White Walker. No.
So we covered that topic.
Right. Mommy's working in a anti-LGBTQ plus school as an art teacher.
Well, all it is,
and you know what? She's got the right to do it, but we've got the right to say, you know what? That sucks.
It's a swinging pendulum.
Oh, I like it when my pendulum swings.
It's a swinging pendulum,
Especially
and it gets
when
more
the
extreme each time, folks. The left and the right, it's all part of the same little cog.
Okay.
In the same machine of the UN, of the globalists, of the corporations.
Oh, wait.
They're all bought and paid for, Mr. Mayo. They're all bought and paid for.
No. It doesn't have. Yes, they are bought and paid for, but it's not all uniform. Because why would we have the anti-UN people in the government? Are they like double, triple secret?
They don't hold any power.
Backward agents.
They don't hold any power. Everybody plays the game if you want to move up the ladder. So, enough of that, all that stuff. I think that's all the politics, at least until maybe we get into some of our pros and cons later. So, yeah. But we did it. We had the talk. And if you're going to have that talk with your friends, I definitely think, you let them state their thoughts.
Yes, absolutely.
Try not to cut them off because we all have our opinions,
Yeah.
Try to stick to facts and not opinions and emotional statements. Try to stick with logic.
I know, but sometimes it's just so visceral.
Surely. These are things that we feel deeply and passionate about, but it is no need to, cut off friends, family members. Hey, I'm going to unfriend that dude that I've known for 20 years because I don't like his political posts.
Oh.
It's just that's not necessary. Sure, you can unfollow if you don't want to see all that stuff. You're still my friend, but if you have to have the conversation, do it in a peaceful and respectful manner. That's all I'm getting at here.
Okay.
And what started the conversation was maybe a little respect for the office. Not necessarily Donald Trump, but the office. I don't know. That's just me. How about raccoon zombies in South Louisiana?
Go ahead. Raccoon zombies. Okay, so they're dead?
Well, no, they're apparently
or do they walk on their hind feet?
They're and big-eyed, and they've got some kind of a virus or something like that.
I
guess
bet
it's
they
rabies.
got some. Right? Is there a research institute somewhere in this
I don't
area?
know, but apparently, and this made national news. South Louisiana is got a bunch of raccoons that are, and they said to watch your dogs and stuff.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, see, you do one of those skeletal implants where they have the not got an endoskeleton, then you're on your way to having a rocket raccoon.
Haha.
Yeah, I mean,
Rocket raccoon. You know, so I used to always say, you know, like that would be good target practice for the pellet gun.
the raccoons.
Well, usually the possums, but you know, raccoons.
But see, possums are food. You don't want to waste food. It's greasy, but it's food.
I've never eaten a possum.
Raccoons.
You know, I mean, if it's zombie apocalypse, I'll eat the heck out of a raccoon. I mean, hopefully it doesn't have, you know, rabies or anything.
Oh no, that's.
Do you cook the rabies out?
No, they don't do the rabies. You got to stay away from armadillos. Armadillos are the ones that are diseased, nasty mother critter scaled things.
How about this one, Mo?
Which one?
This was ice cold.
Doom, 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 doom.
Ice cold. ICE
Yes.
sets up a fake university,
Oh, yes.
enrolling hundreds of foreign students as part of a sting.
Yes. Yes. They're trying to
Quite
scam.
brilliant, actually.
Yeah, you're
Ice cold.
trying to scam the system. They scam you. Boom! Get on the plane. Go back.
There's probably like a free college too.
Yeah.
Like, hey, show us that you're from Mexico. You can get in free. Let's see. And how come we don't have all the illegal immigrants from Canada? We don't hear about the people coming in from the north.
Because it doesn't suck.
That must be
Compared to the countries further. I think maybe
There's more countries down
the
south.
further south you go.
Not all of them come from Mexico.
No, yeah. But still, I think maybe the further south you go, the more the suck increases.
Well,
I mean, and then
Venezuela's been a lot in the news a lot lately.
Yes.
You know, they were somebody who are a country that had the great idea about 20, 30 years ago to, hey, let's become socialist, kind of like we are today. And they kind of went through the same process that we're trying to go through in this country. So, hey, socialism rocks.
not kind of like.
But it didn't really work out for them.
Jeez, dude, we got some systems that yes, they're communitarian. Everybody pays
in order
and when
to
you
be
get to a certain age, you get paid out.
Surely, but in order to ever have any kind of idealistic socialist society, utopia, whatever you want to call it, you would have to trust the money holders and our government.
No.
And no, that's just not happening because if you give the government all your money and think they're going to do something responsible with it,
No.
you're crazy.
No. Somebody's district needs a redevelopment for a strip mall and a pond to come up with the extra land.
Well, and we got to
turtle back
take like flights everywhere and eat, you know, caviar and, you know, have.
Oh.
You know, I think they showed Pelosi's flight record, and she spent like over $2 million in taxpayer money and flights. You know, so I mean,
Well, good corporate Democrat, got to go represent, wave the flag.
Surely, it's just a lot of flights, you know, and I think like the meals like cost over $100,000.
Okay, did she do this on government airlines, or did she spend the money?
No, our tax dollars.
No, I know, but did she pay commercial companies for this thing, or was she doing it on government cost?
Government costs, and this
So
is
no,
common
I mean
in
flying
Washington.
on. I know, but flying on government planes,
Yeah.
not U.S. Air or Delta or that kind of thing.
I think they have their own planes.
Oh, they have their own planes.
Yeah. Especially as a Speaker of
Oh,
the
so
House.
are we talking about like executive jets?
Pretty much.
Oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's very common in Washington.
They need to fly coach, just
They
like
eat their bacon wrapped shrimp in Washington.
I got a bacon wrapped shrimp for you. No, you can ride coach like the rest of us.
So we talked a couple weeks ago about this Covington High School student, the Nick Sandman. Here we go.
Good.
He's suing a long list of individuals and organizations for libel and defamation,
Defamation.
which includes media outlets, priests, different celebrities that tweeted about it.
Wait,
which
priests?
includes even priests like the diocese that went and like apologized for his behavior, even though he didn't. The kid apparently didn't do anything wrong.
Okay.
You know, but in that list of celebrities, two that were noted were Alyssa Milano and Jim Carrey.
Who?
Jim Carrey. Alrighty then.
Yes, that guy that used to be funny.
He used to be funny, and that's what I wrote here. I wrote a sad face, and I used to love this guy.
I like the movie The Mask.
I liked all of his early Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Liar Liar, Dumb and Dumber.
See, I didn't do Dumb and Dumber sucks.
The Truman Show.
Didn't do that.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind was
Didn't
great.
do that.
You know, I mean, Jim Carrey had tons of great films, and he was a funny dude. And, you know, and he does like political art pieces. And he had done a painting.
Does he get paid?
I don't know. He might try to auction them off, maybe. But he had done a painting of this kid, and like about Trump, and it was like baby snakes is what he called it. I didn't see a picture of the painting.
Well,
but he had like released that,
yeah.
and so he's getting sued basically
For showing the image of the painting baby snakes?
Well, and it's of like this kid that like apparently didn't do anything wrong. And, you know, everybody was condemning him for, you know, all this racism and everything whenever the evidence showed that he, like, just stood there. He had a Make America Great hat on, but he just stood there and while other people berated him.
I'm so confused.
Face crimes.
Face crimes?
Yeah, like 1984. He was guilty of face crimes.
Oh, okay. No, see, when you start talking about celebrities, you lose me because...
All right, I don't care about him either, I mean, like the Washington Post, the New York Post. Speaking of which, the Washington Post had a Super Bowl commercial that they spent $5 million on.
Damn.
Yeah.
No wonder they want my money to
Well, and they were talking about
online.
like, oh yeah, you know, you should read our paper. You should, you know, give us credibility. Well, why don't you just like release some credible stories, and then you'll have credibility. You know, that's always a start.
Well, can you name 2 non-credible stories that they've?
I'm sure we can look up some
Do we
stuff
know?
real quick.
Okay, so
you know, I don't have a search engine
no, but
in my
is there
brain.
something in particular that caused you to
It's
make?
just,
that?
I mean, that's more of a general commentary on media in general.
Okay.
You know, and
Who
how
owns
they.
the Washington Post?
So like apparently like one of the richest dudes in the world. You know, is like it's some foreign dude that bought it.
So it's
not too long
not. That's not the one owned by Jeff Bezos.
that might be the name actually.
That's the Amazon dude.
Yeah, it was like one of the richest dudes in the world. They said,
Okay, well that's.
and not from this country.
Oh no, Jeff Bezos is an American boy.
I mean, we can always just, it's a search away. You know,
Yeah.
just ask Google.
Yeah.
Or we can ask the CIA. They're listening.
I'm not asking. I don't have that stuff enabled.
So, maybe this is an idea for us.
Yeah. Oh my God, an idea for us.
This guy was broadcasting on Twitch. He was like doing, I guess, video game commentary kind of stuff. Well, not like commentary, but just like, I guess, like giving tips on video games. He ended up falling asleep on his broadcast and ended up gaining hundreds of viewers. You know, while he was
sleeping?
Watching him sleeping, and they were on the edge of their seats, like wondering when the guy was going to wake up
and start playing his game again. What was his character just running in circles?
Maybe so. I mean, like it showed the guy sleeping. Like there was, I guess, like a feed of him, and so maybe this is a more interesting version of our show.
Oh, this works for me. If the feet just came up a little bit, you know, like put a couple of Barca Loungers or Lazy Boys here.
Yeah, just recline.
But then they'd need to jack the camera up a bit and then
Right.
tilt it down.
Here we can maybe.
Oh,
You know.
that would be the shiznit, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Which I thought with my green shirt I'd be see-through tonight, but I'm all right.
It's the wrong color green, evidently.
Well, maybe.
Nope. We do not see the background
You're
through
not
you.
seeing through. So yeah, maybe we should just try to sleep a little more often on the show.
I like being relaxed. Okay, so
You got something.
Did you want to talk about the anti-vaxxers or no?
Let's put that in our debate section.
Well, let's put
I'm
that
gonna write
in the
that in
debate
there.
section. Okay. You want to talk about nuclear fusion?
Yes.
Do you want to do that now, or do we want to put that in the debate section?
let's do these two, and then we'll.
Okay.
So, Simpsons renewed for season 31 and 32.
Jeebus Crispies. Does anybody still watch that show?
I mean, it's still a decent show, but like eventually you run out of storylines. You gotta
I haven't seen it since Jesus.
I haven't watched it in about 10 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, it's a good show. And they were talking about this on NPR, the water issue in the United States. We've got a lot of old infrastructure across the country.
Yes.
And bills are going up for people because the companies have to pay for it, and they just charge the people.
Charge the customer, right.
So if the federal government were to help, it would end up costing us eventually over $1 trillion over 20-something years to fix the infrastructure of the water system. Because we got some dirty water.
How many cities?
It's like, I guess it would be nationwide in like certain cities.
Oh, nationwide. Okay. Well, see, you're going to find these major urban areas where, like Flint and.
Well, Lafayette's one.
I don't know. I don't live in Lafayette. Does Lafayette got sucked
Well,
water?
I mean, like, especially a lot of the outreach towns, because of the train and all of the, like, gas chemicals and stuff that they would put in the ground,
Right. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And it's, like, right near the water wells, so. I think Lafayette might be on some kind of different well. I'm not 100% sure.
Right.
But, that I know, was in the news recently, local news.
Right.
So.
I think that would suck to have toxic chemicals in your water well.
I agree. But I mean, hey, they say oftentimes that the water coming from our tap is safer than the water in the bottles because they actually test the water in the tap, several times a day. Whereas the water in the bottles, you got one person at the FDA in charge overseeing of all of the bottled water production.
Water in the bottle comes from the tap.
There you go. Tap that thing.
Tap that thing. Pay for the bottle once. Use it many times.
All right, so that kind of wraps up our little news overview. We've got some debate, we've got some studies, and I wrote a list about 5 random things about Lafayette traffic you might need to know.
Okay.
If you want to knock that out real quick.
No, it's Lafayette traffic. No, that is part of the bane of my existence.
I agree. Well, did you know that the random layout of Lafayette was due to the Vermilion River in the way?
No. Okay, well, yeah. Makes sense.
I always thought it was because of farmland,
Right, but...
I'm sure it's a little of both.
But the way the river...
But it's almost as if somebody dropped some spaghetti on the ground and designed Lafayette right there.
Yeah.
Like, hey, that's going to be our roads on Lafayette.
Yeah.
Number 2, construction is only private contractors and the government only does the maintenance. So it's not the government's fault that the projects take so long, i.e. they're out of school.
Right. And there you go with privatizing. There should be penalty clauses. If you poo the Scrooge,
lose the contract.
Not lose the contract. It's just going to
cost
you're
less.
going to make less money because you screwed up. So get it right. Get it right the first time and make darn sure that we get X number of years warranty from you that this road is not going to fall apart in the next 7 years, 5 years, whatever.
That's just the thing. We replace roads, and I mean, we're on swamp here, and the roads sink pretty much with all of the 18-wheelers and sugarcane trucks and yada yada.
Yeah, but that's not all the roads and that. I mean,
right.
I know, generalizing, but still.
And we're talking about Lafayette roads here. So how about this one? We've got an advanced bus system with free Wi-Fi.
No.
Yeah.
I've never been on a
And
Lafayette
you can actually
bus.
live track where you are on the bus and how long it's going to take you to get to your stop and all that
Really?
good stuff. Yeah.
That's kind of creepy.
Well, it's got a locator.
Yeah.
Let's see. The worst traffic in Lafayette is actually on Friday afternoon.
No, God.
Because all the businesses and the school lets out at noon on Fridays.
Noon?
Yeah.
On Friday?
Most of the business, or a lot of the
public
businesses.
schools?
Yeah.
On
Well, not
Friday?
public schools, but UL.
Oh, okay. Wait, they don't have afternoon classes on Friday? Because why?
To save money.
No.
Yeah.
Dude, that's...
Dude, I'm telling you,
Why?
they need to eliminate that fifth work day. You know, I'll work an extra hour and a half a day,
Right,
2 hours.
do 4 10s and be done with it.
4 10s and be done with it rather than 5 8s.
Yeah, oh,
You know?
gladly.
Gladly. Let's see. Most cities monitor their peak traffic hours. Here in Lafayette, we monitor half hours.
Right, more granular data.
Right. Well, and our little traffic spurts move in shorter time periods.
Right.
You know, like we only have 30-minute traffic jams, whereas in other, bigger
Major
cities.
metropolitan
Right.
areas.
It's like hour traffic jams.
Right,
So.
which is why I was so glad to leave Baton Rouge.
Oh, I just couldn't do it.
Dude,
Like
it's
my wrists right now.
that Kirk Douglas movie, Falling Down or Blowing Up
I
or
love that
whatever,
movie.
where he just
Michael Douglas?
Michael Douglas,
Yeah.
yes, and he completely loses his.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It just
Because that's my life.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
And like, if I say like I'm
Yes.
in a hurry, then the slowest person will cut me off and go really slow, like 10 below the speed limit.
and
if
then they'll slow down because they hear the bells, and then they wait for the train to pass, and it's like, gee, bus crispy.
oh yeah,
Today, I'll admit it, I had one of those, and I was early. But dude was just pissing me off. And yeah, the thing was going ding, 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 but the train was way down the road, and he
And
stopped.
The thing hadn't
No,
gone down.
there is no things
No, there's no
downtown.
things.
There's no things downtown. So I just zooped him and got to work early and got my stuff together and
Sometimes you got to zoop. If you can zoop, and you can zoop safely,
Right.
then zoop.
zoop, baby, zoop, baby, zoop.
All right, so we've got some studies, we got some debates. So let's talk about this anti-vaccine stuff.
Oh man. Okay, so there's been a massive depends on how you define massive. There's been an outbreak of measles in Clark County in Washington.
Okay.
And Clark County in Washington has a large population that are anti-vaxxers.
I have heard of the people, and because
And
why are there anti-vaxxers?
There's
What is
all-
the conspiracy theory behind
There's
anti-vaccine?
Jesus God, there's all kinds of things. But as the father of an immunocompromised child, right? Her mother and I, decided with the doctor to stretch out the time period at which vaccines were given
Okay.
because of her weakened immune system.
And how'd that work out?
It worked out really well. She seems to be okay.
Okay.
Well, you know my kid. So,
Well,
anyway,
of course.
Now, the community, the county, since there's been this massive outbreak of measles, the number of people who have signed up for vaccinations has jumped up by 500%.
Well, I mean,
So they realized that they were counting on herd immunity, and there wasn't, because they were living around a bunch of people who did not vax, and it takes one person bringing a disease in.
but that leads me back to my question: why don't these people want to vaccinate their kids?
You might have an allergy to one of the chemicals in its preservative solution.
Surely, and there are some serious chemicals in these vaccinations. There's like mercury and
The mercury thing is kind of overblown. There is minuscule, nano level bits, but it's not like, oh, I'm breaking off a thermometer and shooting up mercury.
well, I mean, and I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and being the voice of the other side, so to speak. But
At least you didn't say reason.
Well, I mean, like, who's to say what's right? You know, there's three
Oh,
versions,
right.
three sides to every story, y'all. Yours, mine, and the truth. You know, any vaccinations? You know, a lot of people, I will say, kind of, I guess, correlate that with the rise in autism,
Right.
autistic cases. The number of vaccinations has gone from like something like 3 in 1960 to like over 40 now.
Okay, it was more than 3 in 1960 because I'm old enough to have.
It was like around 5 or 6, maybe.
There-
I don't know the
Okay,
exact
yeah,
number.
okay.
You know, I mean, like, and this is based on some article I read maybe 2-3 months ago.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
so.
Dude, we walked across the stage in the gym, which was also the auditorium and the cafeteria, so it's a cafetorium.
Cafetorium.
And they had the gun, and they lifted your shirt up, and they swabbed you, and then went, and they injected you through the skin, and you ended up with this little round scar for
I
the
remember
longest
that.
time.
I remember that. So, I mean, who's to say what's right and what's wrong in this? I'm no doctor by any means. I definitely think that, yeah, you get your kids vaccinated, but what one strategy I guess some people have gone with is maybe stretching out, like kind of like you did with your kid, is stretching out the vaccinations. So that way, I guess you're not pumping your kid with all those chemicals at one time.
I'm good with that.
And their immunity can kind of, do what it can
Build,
on that
develop,
one
right.
thing, so.
Well, this kid was not a Hercules, okay? She was.
I mean, and a lot of, like for instance, I think it's Bill Gates actually didn't vaccinate it. He's an anti-vaxxer, and I mean, a lot of like the richer, famous people don't vaccinate their kids.
Okay.
As far to the extent they might get them some vaccination.
Right. And do
Pick and
their
choose.
kids associate with the hoi polloi?
Hoi polloi?
Yes, or us regular common folk.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Yeah.
What kind of kids do they associate with?
Probably with like the Owl Council of Gotham, like the secret societies.
They're gonna be associate with the same kind of kids from the same kind of parents who
everybody
aren't
does.
gonna be exposed to the same kind of germs as people like you and me who work with other people's disease-ridden children.
This is very true. So, I mean, in the end point, for the sake of other people, vaccinate your kids.
Yeah, for the
we
sake
gave that
of other
5
people.
minutes. Let's go ahead and move on to the nuclear fusion.
There was a new development in nuclear fusion lately. Now remember, fusion is way different than fission. Fission is the dirty stuff. It leaves the radioactivity and all that. Fission is where you're turning elements into heavier elements by burning up electrons, sort of. You create a plasma. And what they've done is they've discovered that using, it's not quite X-ray, but it's not quite light. There's that spectrum of radiation that our eyes don't see it,
Yeah.
right? But it's still
Infrared.
Yeah, but fudge. Anyway, they decided they were going to focus these light beams on the plasma being created in the fission reaction.
Okay.
And they decided they
this
were
going
going
on
to do
CERN?
it in it's actually a smaller place than that.
Okay.
I'd have
Which
to
they're
scroll.
like doubling the size of CERN.
Right, but see, CERN is looking at busting things apart.
Well, like combining, like,
No,
basically
yeah.
they're creating the Big Bang almost.
Yeah, but when you break a quark into quarters, and then you got to break that quarter of a quark into quarters again, that's what they're doing.
Like if the Earth were really like a Marvel universe, then
Yes.
are they like opening another realm for like some aliens possibly to come and or open a time warp. You know, like they were saying. I read an article about how somebody who like worked, I think it was maybe for the CIA or something like that. They were saying how this is one of those crazy articles. That you can only believe so much, but
Right.
they were saying that like a lot of these ancient giants and stuff that have been dug up like all across the country, like Abraham Lincoln had seen one of them in like Buffalo or something like that. They had
Right,
but
right.
like there's like these human giants that were built, but like a lot of their caskets were like these time bubbles where like it seemed like 30 minutes in the time bubble would be like 3,000 years, you know, in real life. So you know, but like some of them coming back to life, and you know, aliens from ancient aliens, and
Ancient
then
aliens.
the Anunnaki coming back
Right.
around.
Let
which
me
is
get
Planet
my
X.
hair up there. Do I need to say it? Aliens.
Aliens.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about that whole alien thing?
There's life. There's life out there.
What do you think?
It may not be our kind of life, but there's life out there.
Do you think like aliens and angels could be like one and the same? As far as like biblical text.
Yes. But I can't see. Okay, I can see somebody showing up and seeing us semi-simian idiots doing our stupid things and realizing that, you know what, this place isn't worth the effort and we're not coming back.
Well, I mean, those conspiracy theorists, you know, because, hey, sometimes we talk about conspiracy theories on this show because it's the other viewpoint, it's the other thought,
Right,
you know? And
right,
when you're
right.
higher thought, you've got a big old a bunch of branches of thought.
Right. Well, that's
so-
because we got bigger brains. Big, juicy
big
brains.
branches, you know, so come and hang on our branch.
Yeah. No, I'm not going
But
to say.
speaking of our branches, I lost my train of thought. My branch broke. So what was I talking about? Higher thought.
Higher thought. The last thing on your list.
I don't know if it was on the list.
No?
How about okay? So we already covered
Talking about my generation.
talking about my generation. How about Earth's magnetic North Pole is shifting east towards Russia?
Oh, yeah. It's going to wobble like crazy.
Go
for a
on and
while.
wobble wobble. Go on and shake it shake it.
I don't know that song, but I agree with it wholeheartedly.
Well, that's what the Earth's doing right now.
Right. And we're going to have a flip of the poles.
So, basically, like fungus or cells on Mars is considered life on Mars, right?
Wait, they got fungus
Yeah.
on Mars?
Yeah.
That's life, man. Fungus is life. It's
Yeah.
not the best kind of life, but it's life nonetheless.
Sure.
I mean, if you're going to be a fungus, be the humongous fungus among us.
So, yeah, I guess it's all just a matter of how many people you have and whether you're overpopulated because, you know, hey, that's considered life
Yeah,
on the
overpopulation.
planet. But here at Beating Heart, yeah.
No. We got too many people.
Too many, a lot of mouths on the teat. How about Harvard's chief astronomer insists the alien spaceship
Yes!
is zooming past Jupiter's orbit right now?
Okay, we talking about Uma Maurer?
I can't. Yeah, I didn't write down his name because I knew.
Yeah,
I, probably
I
couldn't-
know.
couldn't
It's
pronounce it.
I had to. I even read the articles where
And this is more and more so where mainstream scientists are saying like, "Hey, aliens."
because there's no reason for that stuff to come through this direction and that
And everybody's
way.
got a picture. Everybody's got a camera now, so it's just like basically, you know, if you're
Everybody's
just
got a
driving,
camera.
Everybody's driving. You know,
Yeah,
you're
right.
driving. Boom.
So you don't help the
UFOs.
victim. You're taking pictures of the scene.
Well, no, I mean if you see a UFO flying or like 10 UFOs,
Right. Well,
whatever
yeah.
it is.
So there are fewer UFOs in BFE South United States because everybody has a cell phone now. I mean, come on.
And
If I was
everybody
getting
has
tractor
doctoring,
beamed up
everybody
to
has
something,
Photoshop, too.
I'd have my phone and I'd just be zippity zap zip zzz.
No doubt, but I mean now everybody
I'd
has
live
access.
stream that shiznit to Facebook and Insta thingy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, while everybody has access to a camera nowadays, everybody does have access to Photoshop nowadays as well.
I don't.
Well, I mean, you have. All you gotta do is download it.
I'm technologically literate, but
I don't know.
generally-
I don't know. I wouldn't know how to do the Photoshop.
Exactly.
You know, or like even create a video or a meme. Even I mean, like I could probably figure it out. But
Right. Well, we just take that picture that they use as a thumbnail, and then we put a big. No. I'm not.
So, a couple funny headlines here. This is higher thought.
Yeah.
The number,
Amuse me. Make me laugh, monkey boy.
the number one reason for marijuana prescriptions is chronic pain.
Yeah. All the way up.
And there's
All the way
another
up.
one. There's another one.
Anxiety.
Traffic fatalities are high after marijuana legislation. That one's not as good, but
No.
apparently.
But no,
but,
that's a good one, but you can see where they're coming from.
But like you see how they write these headlines all
you see
clever
where
and
they're
everything
coming
because
from.
they were totally baked when they
Because they're
wrote it.
totally high.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I was gonna write my article till I got high. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're at the 5-minute warning.
Whoop,
We've
whoop.
covered news. We've covered studies. 5 things about Lafayette traffic. We've got some debate stuff if we want to get into it.
Oh.
I've got best songs of all time. What should be in the top 5 for everybody's list, regardless?
Everybody's list.
Everybody's list.
regardless. Okay.
It's just out of respect, you got to put that in your top 5. I always argue Bohemian Rhapsody's got to be in anybody's top 5.
Okay. Then the Ramones, Blitzkrieg Bop.
In the punk genre, I'd say that's probably one of the most popular songs.
In grunge, either something from Mudhoney or
almost Nirvana.
But it's Nirvana's got a very limited. Mudhoney has a more limited repertoire, but that's because Dude O'Deed.
Maybe because
But it was
I'm
good
thinking
stuff. Soundgarden.
Soundgarden was a good one.
Big Dumb
But you
Sex.
come from a generation where you guys appreciated the music and listened to the records.
Yes.
And then, I mean, of course, like the radio was a big part of that, but I guess I came from more of the MTV generation where the record, like the radio and the records, I guess, got limited to who's making the music videos.
Right. No. When MTV came on, I was connected to Cablevision or whatever the provider was called at the time.
Video
And
killed the radio.
They started this whole concept of video entertainment, and it was good stuff. And then it became commercials, and it became block shows.
Right.
So we would do Headbangers Ball. We would do Yo
the
MTV
show.
Raps.
With Matt, what's his name? The fat white bald dude.
The fat white
Matt,
bald dude.
like,
I
what was his name?
don't remember
Dang.
these people.
Yeah,
But
it
anyway.
was good stuff.
Yeah, well, and it exposed more of America to something other than mainstream or top 40 rock.
Well, I mean, like, there was only so many, I guess, genres and music that you had exposure to then. Like, I guess with technology, and you're just exposed to everything, and different people have different genres now. Like, hey, you're a punk rocker, and I like pop, and oh, it's all hip hop. I like to shake that thing, or I'm still your old school rocker, and I mean, they got different types of people and different
Right.
kinds of music.
We can genreify.
Genre 5. Rastafari, which, by the way, happy birthday yesterday to Bob Marley.
Ah,
One love.
belated birthday.
Belated birthday. So we got that. How about best songs of all time? We kind of threw a couple in the hat. Shahid, you got one that belongs in everybody's top 5 of best songs of all time. I said Bohemian Rhapsody should be one in everybody's top 5.
It's the Thriller album.
The Thriller album, so like Billie Jean or Thriller the song?
Billie Jean.
Billie Jean was a good one. Billie Jean was a good one.
My love.
Yeah.
She's just a girl.
Which it always makes you wonder if like you go back and you think Mike was writing those songs about little boys, you know? Like his Billie Jean, a little boy. You know?
Wait.
Mike was cleared of it all. They had somebody come out with like a controversial documentary, like accusing Mike of all this stuff. And it's like, hey, you've been cleared in the courts, you know? So, how much time we got left, Shahid?
Look like you have maybe 30 seconds.
Okay, so we're about 10 seconds off there.
Okay, Helter Skelter should be on everybody's.
Helter Skelter, okay,
Yes.
yeah.
Because when you get to the bottom, you go back to the top of the slide, and then you stop and you turn and you go for a ride. You get to the bottom, and I
How
see
about
you
best
again.
band or artist, real quick? And we've got 10 seconds.
AC/DC.
How about Led Zeppelin?
Yes.
You got any? Folks, we love you. It's Mob, it's Nayday, it's Shahid. What's going on? Peace out, y'all. We love you.
Deuces.
All right.
Yeah. Boy.
Yeah, boy.